Welcome to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. I'm Perry Black, and on this show, all the way from Kenya, Victor and Abby Orinda. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. I'm your host, Perry Black, and on this show, I have two very special guests and a very special friend and a brand new friend all the way from Kenya. Is that correct?
Yes,
am I right?
That's correct.
Kenya.
Yes,
So a church alive is worth the drive. Our special friends is Abby and her husband, Victor. And many of you have probably seen Abby with us before, but Abby Fegley is now Abby Orinda.
Yes, sir.
And so we want to know all about both of you. And so we never assume that everybody watching the show, Abby, has seen you before.
Okay.
They're probably tired of seeing me. But tell us about you, where you grew up, where you went to school, just to kind of refresh everybody's memory,
Okay.
and where you went to college,
Okay.
and how did you end up in Kenya? And then, Victor, we're going to talk to you and figure out how did you get from Kenya to the television set here at Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. So tell me all about that, Abby.
Okay, well, I was born in Little Rock, born and raised here, lived here my whole life, went to Little Rock Christian from first grade until I graduated.
And anybody that's not in Little Rock, maybe from the surrounding areas, that's on Highway 10
Correct.
in West Little Rock, or
Yes,
Capital
sir.
City. All right.
So I went there until I graduated, and then I went to the University of Arkansas for college in Fayetteville.
And what did you major in? World missions?
I studied business
Business.
administration.
Graduated at what, 22 years old?
I was 21, so
21.
I graduated in 3.5 years. With COVID, I was ready to do all the classes quickly.
Absolutely. So tell me, how did you somehow get acquainted with Kenya, where you are now a full-time missionary?
So when I was 13, I went on a mission trip to Kenya for the first time. My parents thought it would be great exposure, and I fell in love with the country because it was so different than what you see here in Little Rock.
And everybody watching, as I've said before, you're 13 and your mother let you go to Kenya?
I know.
I wouldn't let my kids go to the mall.
I know. So she let me go, and then my sister went with me. So we went at 13 and 14
And
years
y'all
old.
went with a small church group, is that right?
We did. So we loved our time there, and I think God planted a seed in my heart with a deep passion.
And you were
13, yes. So I had my call very early in life, but it reminds me of like 1 Timothy 4:12, where God says, don't let anyone think less of you because you're young.
Let no one despise your youth. That's been the
Correct.
theme of my ministry for over 50 years.
Oh, wow.
And still, as a young man, that's still mine. But I share it now with young people.
For sure. Even at 26, I'm
Yeah.
like that. I'm still young. So I kind of took that verse to heart. And so I kept going to Kenya year after year in the
Did you
summer.
pretty much go when you were 13? Went again at 14? and
Again
so on?
at 15, and would just go every summer until after I graduated college. 2 weeks later, I moved to Kenya full time in 2021.
And at that point, you were working with another ministry, or you're founding your own ministry called Blue Door?
So I was working with another ministry, and that's where I met Victor. So we worked together. And then about 6 months after I was there, we both felt the call from God to kind of start our own school. And so that kind of is what we
Now,
did.
the original ministry had a school for elementary age.
Correct.
How old was that, like through 5th or 6th grade for us in America?
About like preschool through 8th grade.
Yeah.
And then they also had a high school section.
Yeah.
So
And then you and Victor felt like you needed to help the students that were, aging out? You really needed to focus on that older age group, get them ready for college?
correct. So we feel like there was, after 8th grade, a lot of parents have to pay like 3 times the amount for them to go to high school. So we felt the call to really like focus on high school age students. And so that's what we do 9th through 12th grade now.
So can you tell me who Victor is? Because this is my first time to meet Victor. Who is Victor?
Should I tell you, or should he tell you?
Hey, Victor, can you tell us who you are?
Thank you. My name is Victor Orinda. I'm the husband.
You're the husband of Abby.
Yes. I'm the
Isn't that
husband to-
amazing?
I'm the husband to Abby. We've been
Hey.
married for a little over a year now.
Victor, think about this. I don't know how old you are. I just know how old she is. But when you were a teenager, God loved you so much
Oh,
Think about that. Seriously, he loved you so much. He put on the heart of a 13-year-old young girl, Kenya,
Yeah.
and said, watch what I can do. And then through that association and God's leading, you met, y'all worked together in ministry, and somehow the love bug bit you.
True.
Is that right?
That is
I've
very
actually never looked at it that way. Now, if you point it out, then it makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
being that Kenya and Little Rock is like more than 8,000 miles away, like, who'd even thought that at 13, like, that will be the journey, that's where it starts from.
Yeah.
I've never looked at it that way, but it makes a lot of sense.
And y'all have been married now. When did you get married?
We got married last December.
I never look at the guy when I ask that question. I always look to the lady.
Yes.
How long have you been married? He's always going, well, let me think.
So last December we got married.
December of 2023.
In
Y'all
Little
got married
Rock.
in Little Rock. Your home church in Little Rock,
Correct. Fellowship Midtown.
Fellowship Midtown. Now I know Fellowship Bible Church. Are we talking the same place?
Yes, so Fellowship Bible Church,
Yeah.
and then it's the church
Right
plant
off of
Midtown.
Chenal Parkway. Big, beautiful campus there.
Yes.
I have lots of people that I know that that go there. Matter of fact, my bookkeeper's son 2 weeks ago was playing in the worship band for the first time.
Oh, fine.
So
That's
it's a
exciting.
small world unless, what I always say, it's a small world unless you're walking.
True.
Are y'all tired of hearing that? I know I'm tired of telling it to you. But so you guys working together then decided that you needed to do something more, specifically getting these older students ready for college and their life and career. Is that right?
Yes.
We got a minute. Tell us about how that came about.
Okay.
So it came about when I think it's more like how I grew up.
Yeah.
So when I was growing up, there were a bit of challenges getting to college, like especially when you come from a country like Kenya.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's just a big challenge.
It's a big thing and able to go to college, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I remember by the time we were working on the other side, because that's where we met, it was still a challenge that as much as they could finish high school, like there was less number of people who could make it to college.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's a certain grade that you have to get for you to go to college.
Yeah.
So we realized that is where the gap is. So
Yeah.
like if we come in together and trying to fix that gap, it will be much easier for these people to get to college, because that is the ultimate goal for, going to school.
Yeah.
So that's where the calling actually came and became bigger, that we need to ensure that they transition efficiently from high school to college, and that's when we started the high school with a program that extends to.
And so
to
how
them.
long have y'all been doing the upper level?
3 years.
3 years.
3
now.
years.
Yes.
We're going to take a brief break. We're going to find out what's going on at Blue Door Ministries, making a difference in Kenya and affecting the whole world. So we'll be right back.
Hi there, I'm here to tell you everything you need to know about Arkansas Christian Academy. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. Our name is Arkansas Christian Academy, but most of us just say ACA around here. Our mascot is this guy. Go Knights! Founded in 2001, ACA has grown from only a few classes to having classes in pre-K all the way through 12th grade. As far as class sizes go, we are smaller on average across the board, and we use this to challenge our students academically and individually on a personal level, learning through the lens of God's Word in every subject and growing a personal relationship with Him through our amazing staff and in our daily chapel classes. For a full breakdown, check out our website at archristian.org, and feel free to explore other aspects of our school while you're there. Now, let's go outside. Our still growing campus sits right off I-30 and is protected by gates and doors with magnetic locks, only accessible by faculty and staff. We also have these guys here every day. But seriously though, safety is a priority here at ACA, as we want to ensure not only a quality education, but an environment where learning can flourish without fear or other outside distractions. Now, let's move on to the fun stuff. Here's a shot of our football field, a playground, some kids, another playground, our main gym, a football field again, and this is our brand new middle school. What else?
What about extracurricular activities?
That's right, here at ACA, we offer all different kinds of sports, but that's just the beginning. We have a broadcasting class, spoiler alert, it's really cool, a music and worship program, theater, and a thriving art program complete with a very active yearbook committee.
Wow.
There you have it. Schedule a tour today and find out what all the buzz is about at Arkansas Christian Academy.
Hey, welcome back to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Our very special guest on this show, all the way from Kenya, Arkansas. Now, Kenya's not in Arkansas.
No, sir.
How far is Kenya from here?
About 8,000 miles.
8,000 miles. Do you go through LA or through New York?
So we usually go to Atlanta and then to Amsterdam, somewhere in Europe, and then to Nairobi, Kenya.
Yeah.
So it takes about 27, 28 hours.
Thank God for people who have missionary hearts that are willing to fly 28 hours. Dear friend of mine and his wife just got back from Tanzania
Okay.
and then Romania and Hungary. Just got back yesterday, I think. And he's a former youth minister and a former pastor. Been on the missions field now for probably 20 years.
Wow.
And I thought I would be a missionary, but I do not envy anybody that has to fly 20 plus hours to get anywhere.
I think you get used to it. The more you do it, it
Yeah.
seems to be quick, even though
Oh,
it's
it
not.
does.
I think so.
It does, yeah.
All right, even with a baby,
I'm not sure. We haven't tried yet.
y'all been married a year, and I hear off studio here the beautiful sound of a little guy named William.
Yes, sir.
How old is William?
He is 2 months old.
2 months old. And he wants his mommy. I hear him.
I know,
Or
poor
does he want
thing.
his daddy? Victor, is he crying for you or mom?
I think it's a mom.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
So, what's going on now with Blue Door Ministries? Y'all will be going back with a new school year in January of 2025.
Yes, sir.
And so, tell me how long is this current Blue Door Ministry going? Is this going to be the third year?
So in October, we'll celebrate 3 years of our high school. It's called Blue Door Christian
October
Academy.
24 will be the inauguration of 3 years.
Yes, sir. So we have the privilege to be the directors of Blue Door Christian Academy. Like we said, it's a 9th through 12th grade. Our students are from underprivileged families. They wouldn't have the ability to go to high school.
Yeah.
So sponsors in the States pay for us to run the school in Kenya. So our students don't pay anything to go to school with
And
us.
they live on campus.
They do.
Do they stay Monday through Friday and go home on the weekends? Or do they stay with you for the entire semester?
They stay with us the entire semester and just go home for like a half-term break. So Sunday through Sunday, 24 hours a day, they're with us.
Well, it's interesting because at 13 you go to Kenya, and in Kenya, a 9th grader who may be 15, it's like going off to college. You go and live on campus, and you're totally invested in your education. Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
So tell us, since this show is all about fostering, mentoring, adopting, and we're not just interested in reaching kids in America, reaching kids all over the world.
Right.
And we support Blue Door Ministries
Yes,
every
sir.
month.
We're so grateful.
And so what can someone do that's watching help young underprivileged children in Kenya through Blue Door Ministries? Give us the address and how they can support y'all.
Well, I think the biggest thing is we always need prayers. It's not easy to run a school with 160 students.
Oh, come on. School's easy. We got a school here on this campus. School's easy. Everybody loves you. Everybody gets along.
Let's not lie to the viewers. So I think that's it. But also we have a sponsorship model that people can sponsor the school as a whole. So it's about $40 a month. So on bluedoorministries.org, people can sign up to donate, and that's really the biggest need because we have to feed them. And
Well, then tell me what it cost for a, quote, 9th grader or 10th grader to come to Blue Door Ministries. What's it cost y'all? And how do you feed them and sleep them? Because you got to have dormitories.
right. So
How'd y'all do all that? Victor?
We have, it was just God's plan. We happen to have the facilities that we have beds, we have dormitories, we have a kitchen, we have enough teachers.
How many beds in the dorm do you have?
We have 4 dorms.
4 dorms?
Yes, 2 for girls and then 2 for boys. So per dorm we have around 40.
So
that's
you can
40.
sleep about 160?
So there's 160 kids that we have.
We have a school here, it's about 500 plus young people, but thank God they go home in the afternoon at 4 o'clock.
to give everyone a break.
Yeah, because what y'all do, it's 24/7. You're really, truly raising up a generation of champions for Jesus Christ.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do.
That's what you are doing. You're not just trying to do it. Now, we realize what you're doing and endeavoring to do God's doing the work in them.
Correct.
And they have to
Yes,
make their
sir.
own choices and decisions. But faith without blisters is dead.
Correct.
And y'all get the blisters and God gets the glory.
It's true. But even like last summer, we always have teams come during the summer. So if people are interested in coming to Kenya, we always love to have people come. But we had 24 kids give their life to Jesus last summer, and then 47 were baptized. So when
Those were your students or the volunteers that came over?
So they were our students.
Yeah.
So when you say that God really does the work inside
Yeah.
of them, it's so true. And we got to see the fruit of that last summer.
Yeah. Are you going to speak to our school chapel this year?
We would love to. We're always open for an invitation.
All right, writing that down right now. James, you're making a note. James off cameras, and he's making a note. I want y'all to meet our students. You've spoken at our chapel on a couple of occasions. And I want our young people to recognize that God is a God of the whole world.
For sure.
Yes.
And no matter how young, 13, or maybe Victor's age, 45. Victor, you want to tell me how old you are?
I'm 29.
29. And God can change your life.
For sure.
Victor, we got 1 minute. Can you tell me how you came to know Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior in this nation 8,000 miles away?
Knowing Jesus was just part of the family. So I remember when I was growing up, that is just all we knew with my mom and my other siblings.
Yeah.
So we'd go to church every Sunday, and then we'd listen to this pastor. It was every Saturday in the evening, and he will just talk to us about healing, about prayer, about relationship with God, and we just got used to that sound every Saturday, and just so that is just how it started all along. And then I met my grandfather when I was about 10, thereabout, and he had his own church, and so it is just a way to cement like my relationship with God. So it started all the way when I was actually born. I've been with him through the journey.
Yeah. Here in America, so many of us grow up going to church. We never really meet Jesus personally. But man, when you meet Jesus, it'll change your life, whether you're in West Little Rock, Saline County, or in Kenya. We'll be right back with Abby and Victor.
If I had a superpower, I would want to be a healing person.
Saving people.
Superman.
Yep. As twins.
My name is Cameron. I'm 11 years old.
My name is Mara and I'm 11 years old.
We like to sing together.
We like to play sports together.
We like to play with Legos.
We love to fight.
Like play.
She's nice. She kind. Like to eat a lot.
I love math. I hate reading, but I like reading at the same time because I want to learn how to read. When I grow up, I want to be a firefighter or a cop.
I like math. Like reading. When I grow up, I want to be a traveling nurse.
We haven't been together in a long time.
Usually, we don't really be kids. We just be in facilities a lot.
I want to be adopted because being adopted, you get to do more things.
I want to be adopted because we can live our life to be a kid. It's alone being by myself.
If we got adopted, caring parents, they care about us.
I want a caring person, a kind person, who believe in God and who treat others the way they want to be treated. We have more stuff we can use. We don't have to change places every 2 weeks. I want to help children who's in foster care. If I had one wish, I want to be with my siblings again.
My wish is to be the whole life my whole life starting over.
Hey, welcome back to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Abby, that previous segment, we just came back from Project Zero, showing our audience children that are in foster care that are praying and believing God, not for a spouse, but for a permanent adoptive family.
Yes.
And I want to encourage you to support adoptive agencies and ministries like Second Chance Youth Ranch. And as Abby said in the previous segment, it's not all about giving money. We'd love for you to do that, support our ministry and Abby and the Blue Door Ministry and Victor. But more than anything, that you would pray, because prayer pierces the heavens, and it's through the heavens that God pours out His blessing and His glory and His provision for His vision.
Yes,
And His vision is that every child should have a family.
for sure.
I am so impressed with y'all.
Thank you.
And what God is doing in your life, in your family, and through Blue Door Ministries. So tell me, what's coming up in January of 2025? Y'all expecting 20 or 30 9th through 12th graders?
Well, actually,
Apparently, the government changed the curriculum, so we have a new system starting next year. So we might not have the 9th graders coming in, so we'll just have 11, 10th,
10th,
through
11th, and 12th.
Yes, so we expect just in 2026.
So,
That's when
so
we have-
even in Kenya, the worst words you'll ever hear is, "We're from the government and we're here to help."
correct.
So for whatever reason, the government said 9th graders are probably too young to be staying on a campus away from the family. But what are you expecting in 10th, 11th, and 12th? You still expecting 100 plus students this 2025?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the usually application that come, like they usually come every time. Even right now, the application, people trying to knock the door. As much as we have a capacity of 40 per class,
Yeah.
so I think going through next year, we are going to have to increase just a little bit, being that now we'll have an offload of 40 we might not have at that point. So they usually come because, again, it never ends.
Never
Like the
ends.
need when it comes to Kenya, it just never ends.
Is there real hunger, Victor, in the Kenyan young people for education?
Yes, there is. Majority live below the poverty line of,
Yeah.
$1 per day, and it's really tough, especially when you go to the slums
Yeah.
in Nairobi. There's just a lot that happens there. So hunger is one of them. There's just drugs and just everything.
Can you give me an idea where is Blue Door Ministries in regard or in relationship to Nairobi, which most people at least have heard of Nairobi? How far are y'all from there?
So Blue Door is on the western side of Nairobi. Like that is the CBD, or we call it the downtown. It is on the western side. So you go on the eastern side of Nairobi, now that's where you find majority of the slums.
What's the potential population of Nairobi, just so they have a frame of reference?
It's around 5 million.
5 million.
Yes.
State of Arkansas, 3 million, the whole state. And Nairobi is just a nation, what we would probably call in America a state, but you're a nation within the continent of Africa. Is that right?
Correct.
Nairobi
yeah.
is the downtown,
The city.
is the city
Yeah.
in Kenya. So Nairobi itself has 5 million.
Just in the city.
Yes,
Yes.
that is the
Well,
city.
God bless you for being in Nairobi, because I don't like that big of crowds.
I know, or the traffic.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Like, Victor can just maneuver around, and it's just crazy. But our school is actually like 30 minutes from downtown Nairobi.
Yeah.
So our kids like it because they have to go through downtown to get to our school, and it's kind of a bit of a nicer atmosphere than where they come from, so they can kind of, get out of that hard life and just come to school and breathe a bit.
What's it cost? I think our people need to understand the magnitude of the God that we serve. What's it cost to run a school for, I guess we'd call it a year?
So
How's your school broke up? How has it segmentized? The fall, January semester? How's it work?
So they come in January, and then they have the month of April off, and then they come back, and then they have the month of August off, and then they go home for November and December. So it's like 3 semesters, but they start the new year in January, and then they go home for Christmas at the end of October. But to run a school with 160 kids, it costs $13,000 a month.
Times 10's 130, it'd be 26, 156,000 for 160. So it's did I just figure that's about $1,000 per student for a whole year? Did you hear that? You can sponsor a student. Now she said $40 a month. I guarantee you she'd take $1 a month. Wouldn't you? You'd take any gift, no matter how large or
1,000%.
small.
Yes, sir.
But for $1,000, your church, your company, your organization, you personally could sponsor literally a student for a year. And you don't have to travel 28 hours to get there.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be
if we had
amazing.
160 people right now that would just sow $1,000 a piece, 320 people do 500, 640 people do 250.
I love your math.
I passed math. Victor, I don't speak English, but I do math.
Love it.
So it is that simple. And here in America, I've got a granddaughter at UMS at PA school, and I've got a grandson at ULR in his last semester of college. I've lost count.
So many.
But it's thousands a semester. For example, Fayetteville right now. Do you have an idea for one semester at Fayetteville? Would it be 10,000 or 15,000?
I can't remember.
I have a grandson there right now, freshman. He just celebrated a big victory against Tennessee recently.
Go Hogs.
So thousands per semester. But for 1,000, you can send a student in Kenya for a full year term. Don't usually make a big pitch. Abby, we have 1 minute. Would you please look at that camera, number 2, and just tell folks what it would mean to you and Victor to have somebody pray for y'all and support what you're doing through Blue Door Ministries. You've got 45 seconds.
Okay, well, I think we're so passionate about it because God called me at a young age, but also Victor didn't say, like, he grew up in the slums. Someone sponsored him to go to school, and then he was able to go to college, and now he's sitting next to me, and we get to be the directors of Blue Door Christian Academy. So God has called us, and we've seen that it works. We know that the model works. So if you would pray for us, that would be huge. But if you wanted to sow a seed into Blue Door Christian Academy, we would be so grateful because we know that God's changing lives, and it's going to make an impact, and we believe that 1,000%.
Oh, and we all are examples of God's grace and mercy and God's faithfulness. He loves you. We love you. Pray for Blue Door and Second Chance Youth Ranch. And we'll see you next week right here on 2CYR TV. Bye-bye.